7 days before my due date, Felix got up in the middle of the night to catch a flight. All just because his childhood sweetheart Ning Ivy, who was studying abroad, was feeling down during her period and wanted to eat the noodles he made. I held my aching lower back and asked if he could stay. I was scared to be alone. I'll only be gone 3 days max round trip. It'll be fine, stop overthinking, he said. An hour later my water broke suddenly. I called him but his response came cold. Quit messing around, Stella. I'm about to go through security. Go to bed early. Then he hung up. My baby wouldn't have her dad there when she was born. I forced myself to take deep breaths, staying calm. I lay flat on the bed, dialed 120 for an ambulance, then called my brother. He must have been asleep. He picked up just as the call was about to go to voicemail. What's wrong, Stella? Are you in labor? His anxious voice made me burst into tears instantly. My throat tightened so much I couldn't speak for a while. My mom had died from complications while giving birth to me. My dad was always busy with his business and later remarried, so my brother had raised me. But to be with Felix, I'd said so many hurtful things to my brother. Things that made him say he'd stop caring about me, frustrated that I wouldn't listen to reason. In the ambulance, I clung tightly to my brother's hand and apologized to him. Don't be scared, he said. I'm right here. My cervix dilated so slowly, even after being given oxytocin, nothing helped. My amniotic fluid was also running low. After 5 hours of pain, I had to switch from a vaginal delivery to a section. Finally, my daughter was born. The doctor placed her on my chest, congratulating me on my baby girl and saying they hadn't seen a newborn with such thick hair in a long time. I laughed through my tears. All that mattered was her health. Felix and I had picked the name Xiaoyu for her with the nickname Goldfish. But now there was no more Yu, Felix's last name. Her name became Xiaojin, Jean, meaning gold. She was my daughter Stella Jin's and mine alone. I slept until the afternoon, and when I turned on my phone I saw messages from Felix. He'd landed, he was at Ivy's place, and he'd tried calling me twice. Then came his questions. Was I awake? Had I eaten? Was I still mad? Ivy had posted on social media a photo of a bowl of steaming noodles, topped with 2 fried eggs, dried radishes and leogama chili sauce. Her caption read, "I'm so happy I could cry. Does anyone get this feeling? My cold, empty stomach doesn't deserve something this delicious." Felix commented, "You're exaggerating." Ivy replied, "Love you. Mwah." When my brother asked what I wanted to eat, I showed him the photo and said, "I want exactly this." Then Felix called again. I took a deep breath and answered, "Stella? You finally picked up. I was scared sick you weren't replying to my messages," he said. I said nothing. "Are you still mad?" Suddenly Ivy's voice cut in, "Sister-in-law, don't be mad at Felix. It's all my fault. But I never thought he'd actually come. It shocked me. I thought I was hallucinating from being so hungry. Oh, and I bought a gift and some little clothes for Goldfish. Felix can bring them back for you," she added. Felix laughed, sounding a little helpless as he told her to step back so she wouldn't get flour on his clothes. "We're making dumplings. She just finished a big bowl of noodles and is already thinking about the next meal. Good thing I brought a rolling pin, otherwise, we'd have had to use a wine bottle," he said. "I can roll better with a wine bottle than you can with that," Ivy retorted. "Let's bet on it," Felix said. They bickered back and forth, and Felix laughed so happily, so playfully, so childishly, more than he ever did when he was with me. "Honey," he called. "I'm listening," I said softly. "How's the baby? Did she give you trouble today?" I smiled. "No. She's being really good." He sighed in relief. "Good. And stop pulling that kind of stunt later, okay? I know it's the hormones talking. You're not usually this unreasonable." "Yeah. You two go back to making dumplings. I'm gonna eat too," I said. I called my brother right after, telling him I didn't want noodles anymore. I wanted dumplings, his homemade ones. He chuckled. "Whatever you say, princess." The nurse brought my daughter to me. I brushed her tiny nose gently, my heart melting. "You're a little princess too," I whispered. "We're gonna rely on Uncle for the rest of our lives, okay?" The next day my brother helped me walk around the ward. The pain from my C-section made tears stream down my face. I saw my eyes were red too, so I joked, When your wife has a baby someday you're gonna cry your eyes out, aren't you? He flicked my forehead. Mind your own business. When we got back to the ward I saw a WeChat message from Felix. It was snowing in Australia and all flights were cancelled, he couldn't come back. I'm sorry honey. I didn't check the weather forecast. I had no idea it would snow this heavily overnight, he wrote. I looked out the window at the bright sun and lush summer trees. It felt like we were living in two parallel worlds. Would he and Ivy have been happier without me? Felix and I had been grad students in the same lab. He was a year ahead of me and my mentor. I'd fallen for him almost at first sight. I'd chased him actively even though he was so cold I'd refused to give up. We'd started dating in secret half a year later, and only went public after he graduated. My brother had warned me Felix was only with me because he knew about our family's financial background. He had ulterior motives. But I wouldn't listen. Felix said he loved me and I'd believed him wholeheartedly. I'd secretly begged my brother to invest in Felix's startup. After the company's celebration dinner, Felix got drunk and rambled in front of my brother and me. I made money now. You can study abroad anywhere you want. Brother will pay for it. Brother won't let you suffer anymore. My brother had sneered and asked when I'd wanted to study abroad. He'd never heard me mention it. I couldn't answer. The one who wanted to study abroad was Ivy. I'd lied to myself. It was just drunk talk. They'd grown up together so it was normal for them to be close. I loved him and that was enough as long as he was with me. The next day when he sobered up I asked if he wanted to marry me. He'd looked surprised and asked if I'd heard him ramble the night before. Then he said he'd already bought a ring and was going to propose to me. I'd asked my brother for our household registration book to register our marriage. We'd fought fiercely. In the end he couldn't win against me. He'd sighed deeply, angry and defeated. Do whatever you want. Just don't come crying to me later. I replied to Felix's message. It's okay. You might as well spend more time with Ivy over there. You haven't seen each other in ages. Felix wrote back. Thanks honey. I just thought you'd need someone with you after giving birth, so I rushed over to check on Ivy quickly. I did need someone, doctors, nurses, a postpartum caregiver, my brother. But clearly he didn't count himself as someone for me. He asked a couple more questions about the baby and I told him she was fine so he didn't need to worry. Jeansy's tiny hand was wrapped tightly around my finger, cooing happily in baby talk. I didn't realize I was crying until my tears fell on her little clothes. You're not crying but Mommy is, I smiled. Mommy isn't as strong as my baby. The postpartum caregiver saw me and hurried to get a warm towel. You shouldn't cry this much during confinement, ruining your eyes is a lifelong problem, she said. On the third day after giving birth I still had no breast milk. My brother said formula would be better, it would save me from the hard work. And I cried. Felix wanted to video call me to show me the snow and the snowman they'd built. I told him I was eating with my brother so he said he'd call later. I feel so much better knowing my brother's with you, he messaged. I've been on edge worrying about you since you're about to give birth. I scoffed. He'd left so without hesitation, I saw no sign of him worrying about me at all. I'd already seen the snowman on Ivy's social media. The two of them rolling around in the snow, their faces and noses bright red, laughing so happily. Last winter when it snowed I'd bought a little duck snow mold online. I'd happily made a row of duck-shaped snowballs and placed them on his car. But he'd just crushed one with his hand saying, "You're 27 not 7. Don't be so childish." That night I couldn't sleep and was deleting old photos when Ivy sent me a video. There was no footage, only their voices like they'd been drinking. Ivy, what if I'd been braver back then? Would things have been different between us? Felix, there are no what ifs, little Ivy. Ivy, you said you'd celebrate my birthday early. My wish this year is just for you to answer that question. Felix, maybe. But no matter what our relationship is, little Ivy, I'll take care of you for the rest of my life. Whenever you need me. Ivy, I need you now. Her voice cracked with sobs. There was a rustle of fabric and then the video ended abruptly. The next second she withdrew it. Turns out the need for a bowl of noodles from his childhood sweetheart weighed more than the need of his wife about to give birth. In the middle of the night, Felix suddenly sent me a message. Honey, I love you. I miss you and Goldfish so much. I laughed. Every stroke and punctuation mark reeked of guilt. On the fourth day after giving birth, I was discharged from the hospital and checked into a postpartum care center. Not the one Felix and I had booked. My brother had found me a much better one. Felix wanted to video call again to see the baby. I told him my phone camera was broken. "Okay, I'll buy you a new one when I get back," he said. "What did you do today?" "Slept," I replied. He asked why I sounded unhappy, why my voice lacked energy. I laughed to myself. Of course nothing could be as joyful as his long-overdue reunion with Ivy, staying up chatting through the night. Just hearing his voice now made me sick. But I clung to that feeling like self-punishment. The more it hurt, the less likely I was to waver. "It's nothing. I just didn't sleep well," I said. "Did goldfish keep you up again?" His tone was full of feigned concern. "I have a flight tomorrow morning. I'll be back in Beijing by tonight. Hope there's no delay this time." "Felix, are you still not ready?" Ivy's voice called from a distance. Felix answered her, then turned back to me. "Ivy and I are going out to look around later. Is there any gift you want? Like a bag or cosmetics?" "I don't know much about that stuff. Maybe you can tell Ivy directly." Before I could speak, Ivy snatched the phone from him. "Hey, sister-in-law. What do you want? Send me a list and we'll milk him dry." "No thanks. There's nothing I need," I said. I turned to Felix. "Just come back soon." Felix chuckled. "Do you miss me?" Felix's flight was delayed another day. He finally made it back the day before my original due date, timing he was obviously proud of. "The baby still hasn't shown any signs of coming, right?" he asked. "No, she was fast asleep. I got a taxi. I'll be home soon. Wait for me, you and the baby," he said. I took a nice, warm shower, had afternoon tea, then answered Felix's call at a leisurely pace. "Stella, where are you? What happened to the house? Did we get robbed?" He sounded frantic. My brother had taken all my and the baby's things. Everything left had been smashed to pieces. "I don't know," I said. He finally realized. "Stella, you said you weren't mad anymore." Okay. Where are you now? At your brother's place? I'll come find you right away. Let me apologize to you in person, okay?" "No. Honey, I'm sorry. You're about to give birth, don't be stubborn. It's not good for you or the baby," he urged. "You actually remember I'm about to give birth?" There was a thud, like he'd bumped into something or kicked it. He yelped in pain. "Stella." He sounded helpless, like he wanted to say more but couldn't. "Please. Just tell me where you are. You can hit me, scold me, take your anger out on me, anything. I just need to see you. I'm worried sick." "Aren't we talking right now? What do you have to worry about?" I took a sip of red bean soup. "I don't even have the energy to be mad at you anymore." "Stella Jean, stop talking like that." He snapped. "I'm trying to communicate with you to fix this." I laughed. "Fix this? My brother's lawyer will contact you tomorrow. I want to divorce you, Felix." "What? Adhere?" He still thought I was throwing a fit. "Honey, stop messing around. You're still pregnant, you're about to have our baby. Let's talk about anything else after she's born safely, okay?" I hung up. When my brother came over after work, he said Felix had gone to his company looking for him. First, Felix had tried going to my brother's neighborhood, but the security guards had stopped him. I joked, "You better be careful, don't let him follow you back here." "Don't worry. Even if he finds this place, he can't get in," my brother said. Felix refused to sign the divorce papers. He even tried to hit the lawyer. After throwing his tantrum, he got on his knees in front of my brother, begging to see me, saying I could go into labor at any moment and he needed to be by my side. My brother punched him square in the face. I could hear the sound of flesh hitting flesh even through the phone. I told my brother to hand the phone to Felix. "Little Jeansy, have you had enough to eat?" I cooed. Jeansy gurgled. Ah. Stella." Felix's voice was shocked, like he couldn't speak. Wah. "I told you my water broke," I said calmly. "No. Honey, I didn't know. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." I kept cooing at Jeansy as I spoke to him. "Sign the papers. I'll go file for divorce once I'm done with confinement." "Honey, just listen to me." I hung up. Later, my brother brought back the signed divorce papers. His hand was still red. "Did you beat him so bad he had to go to the hospital?" I asked. My brother gave me a sideways glance, still a little annoyed. You worried about him? I glared at him. I'm worried about you. He smiled. Good to know you still have a conscience. I blocked Felix's number. He texted me from a new one, afraid I'd block it too. He sent a huge multi-paragraph essay all at once. I glanced at it for 2 seconds before closing the chat. It was too disgusting to read. Since Felix couldn't find me, he started waiting for my brother, begging him to let him apologize, even asking my brother to hit him. My brother got so annoyed that he had the security guards strip Felix down to his underwear, tie his hands and feet and dump him on the street. Like a mangy dog, my brother said in disgust. When Ivy found out, she also came to apologize. I replied, now there's a what if for you. You can be brave now. Then I blocked her too. After confinement, my brother picked me up and took me home. He'd bought an apartment for me right downstairs from his place. I had no idea until then. I didn't even notice we were on the wrong floor when we walked in. I asked him when he'd had the place renovated. He rolled his eyes. This is your home. When I got married, I dreamed of a happy marriage that would last forever. My brother, ever the pessimist, had quietly prepared an escape route for me, making sure I'd always have a place to go no matter what. Brother. I hugged him and burst into tears. He groaned about me getting his shirt wet and went upstairs to change. I teased him, if Jeansy pooped on you, you'd probably even smell it to see if it's nice. He gave me a sideways look. Is Jeansy the same as you? I wrapped my arms around his neck from behind. Tell me, who do you love more, me or Jeansy? He laughed helplessly. I love you, I love you. Otherwise you'll start crying again. 2 days later I met Felix at the Civil Affairs Bureau. My brother came with me, acting as my bodyguard. Stella. Felix dropped to his knees right there. I know I was wrong, horribly wrong. I'm sorry for you, sorry for our daughter. But please give me one more chance. I love you, I love our baby. I don't want a divorce. I want to be a good husband, a good dad. My brother hauled him to his feet. Stand up. You're not embarrassed, but we have some dignity left. I haven't even seen our daughter yet. Felix covered his face and squatted down, sobbing. I didn't mean to. I really didn't know. I pulled out a photo of Jeansy taken on her 1-month anniversary. Go inside with me now. Once we're done, I'll give this to you. Half an hour later we walked out. Felix stared at the photo, touching it gently as he smiled. She looks like you, double eyelids. Babies grow so fast. My brother would mutter every few days, thank God she doesn't look like that bastard. Can I see her? Felix asked. I took the photo back from him. I'll let you see her once we get the divorce certificate in a month. We saw Felix a few times outside our neighborhood when we took Jeansy out. He was wearing his old clothes. They hung loosely on him like he'd lost a lot of weight. The last time we saw him, his foot was in a cast and he was using crutches. I tried to recall the feeling of loving him, of worrying about him, but my heart was too numb to feel anything anymore. On the day we got the divorce certificate, Felix said he hadn't cleaned up his place yet. He'd been sleeping on a mattress on the floor and had kicked a cabinet drawer in the middle of the night, breaking his foot. Is that so? Be careful next time, I replied without any emotion. He still wouldn't give up, asking what he could do to make me forgive him, saying he'd do anything. I scoffed. Can you turn back time? Or make my amniotic fluid flow back? His face turned pale. I have dreams about going back to that night. He mumbled. Keep dreaming. I kept my promise and let him see Jeansy in his car. He held her gently, calling her goldfish, and sobbing that Daddy was sorry. I reminded him, my daughter's name is Jeansy. 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 Jeansy is a nice name, he hurried to say. After getting out of the car, he pulled out a pair of little gold bracelets. They're a gift from Ivy for Jeansy, he said. I didn't take them. They're nice. Save them for the goldfish you and Ivy have someday, I replied. He grabbed my arm frantically, hurrying to explain, I really don't have anything going on with Ivy. We're just friends like siblings. You have to believe me. Oh, I said flatly. I pulled my arm away and shut the car door. It's kind of funny, Jeansy is allergic to gold. When we put the little gold bracelets on her, a red rash broke out around her wrist within 2 minutes. My brother was being funny too. Uncle will melt these down into gold bars, he said to Jeanzy. When you're older and short on pocket money, you can sneak them out and sell them. I asked him, would you ever let your niece be short on pocket money? He was silent for a few seconds, then said no. When we got home, my brother cooked a big fancy meal and opened his most expensive bottle of wine to celebrate my divorce. It was then that he told me the bad news. He'd been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. That's when it hit me why he'd hesitated when he said no earlier. I nodded. It's okay. I'll be with you through the treatment. My brother was admitted to the hospital and I split my time between the hospital and home. At the same time, I started learning about the company's operations. After my dad passed away, he'd left a mess behind. My brother had worked day and night for years to get the company back on its feet. I didn't want his hard work to go to waste, or for the company to end up under someone else's name. More than that, I wanted to prove to my brother that I was capable of giving myself and Jeanzy a good life, so he wouldn't have to worry about us. We held meetings right there at his hospital bed and my brother taught me everything in minute detail. Stella, you've surprised me, he said. I huffed. Did you think I was just some crybaby who could only shed tears? I did, he said. In my eyes, you're still that little girl who needs me to comfort her and protect her. I leaned over his bed and cried. The more he comforted me, the harder I cried. After I left my brother's ward, I sat downstairs to calm down. That's when I saw Felix walking toward me. Stella. What's wrong? Did something happen? He'd followed me to the hospital once before. This was the second time, and seeing my red puffy eyes, he panicked, asking if Jeanzy was sick. Who are you? I asked. How do you know my name and my daughter's? Get out of my way, I'm trying to get some sun. He sat down next to me. Stella, if something's wrong, tell me. Don't make me worry like this. I moved to the other side, putting more distance between us. I have postpartum depression, I said. I'm here to see a psychiatrist. Happy now? Again he apologized, guilt written all over his face. I'm sorry, Stella. This is all my fault. So can you just disappear from my sight? I said. If you really want me to feel better, that's what you'll do. He said he would, stood up, but then insisted on driving me home. I can take a taxi by myself. Get lost. I went home to check on Jeanzy, fed her a bottle of formula and hung her to sleep. Then I went to the company for an afternoon meeting. When I walked out, I saw Felix again. He'd come to find my brother, probably to ask about my depression. My brother's on a business trip, I lied. I walked toward the street and he followed. You're working at the company now? I thought you always said you hated this kind of work. I was too tired to even speak properly that day. You Felix, can you stop haunting me? I said. Every time you show up I just get more annoyed. It doesn't make me think you're deeply in love, or persistent. Please just let me go. Let yourself go too. We're never getting back together. I just want to make up for what I did. He said. I sighed. The best way you can make up for it is by never showing up in front of me again. Felix disappeared for a while. I was grateful he'd finally listened to reason. Then Jeanzy caught a cold from the seasonal change. She got a respiratory infection and had to stay in the hospital for a week. I couldn't eat and I had canker sores in my mouth that made eating even more impossible. I lost several pounds. When I was talking to my brother, he suddenly reached out and touched my cheek. You're all skin and bones, he said. I was about to snap back at him, but he looked just as bad as I did. Then there was a sound at the door and a man walked in. Their eyes met and I felt the air grow tense with something unspoken. This is my friend Zhao Hui, my brother said, breaking the silence. You met him when you were little. Zhao Hui smiled at me. Long time no see, Stella. I vaguely remembered him. After I finished my middle school entrance exams, my brother had taken me on a trip, and Zhao Hui had come along with us for 2 days. Stella, go home and rest, my brother said. Zhao Hui and I need to talk. From that day on, someone was there to take care of my brother, feeding him, helping him drink water, every little thing. My brother looked awkward, like he wanted to explain. But I cut him off, saying I'd already guessed. A man nearly 40, not married, no girlfriend, it wasn't hard to figure out. On the start of winter, I made dumplings and brought them to the hospital. My brother forced himself to eat a few, then threw up. He insisted that Zhao Hui go home with me so I could get a good night's sleep. Felix stopped my car at the entrance of our neighborhood. He'd been at a dinner party and had heard gossip that President Jean of Jinshin Company had cancer. Is it true? He asked. It is, I said. Thanks for your concern. But please don't come to visit him in the hospital, unless you're planning to mock him for not being able to punch you anymore. Stella. He leaned against the car window, fumbling for words. I know you're still mad at me. But with something this big happening, having one more person to help can't hurt. Don't push me away like this. I promise I won't bring up our past and I won't make things hard for you. I glanced at Zhao Hui, who was sitting next to me. We really don't need your help. Zhao Hui understood immediately and spoke up. I'll take good care of Stella. You don't have to worry about her, sir. Felix froze. You too. We're just friends right now, I said with a smile, signaling for him to take his hand off the window. The next day, Felix came to the company to find me. He waited downstairs all afternoon. As soon as he saw me, he held out his phone, showing me his chat history with Ivy. You hate her, so I'll stop talking to her from now on, he said. She agreed to it too. I laughed and let him outside. What's this supposed to mean? I asked. It's like you're making it look like I forced you to cut ties with your family. What you do with her has nothing to do with me. Can you stop doing these unnecessary over-the-top things? Felix looked at me. Stella, we're family too. Your brother is like my brother. I can't just stand by and do nothing. Who was that man yesterday? When did you two meet? Is he reliable? I'm worried you'll get tricked. Especially now when someone's nice to you, you're too easy to move. Just then I saw Zhao Hui. I waved at him. I turned back to Felix. You really don't need to worry about me. First of all, I'm an adult. Even if I did get tricked, I can handle the consequences. No matter how stupid I am, I'd never have another baby with someone and go through that hell again. Besides, I met him before I met you. He's my brother's friend, we know everything about him. My brother trusts him to take care of me. I walked toward Zhao Hui. He held out his hand to me, then nodded at Felix. Let's go. Once we were in the car, my brother asked me, whose hands are bigger, mine or his? I was confused. How would I know? Why don't you two compare them yourselves? Zhao Hui laughed. Your brother's jealous. He's upset that you don't hold his hand anymore now that you're grown up. My eyes widened. What? He'd always complained that I was too clingy. Typical, saying one thing but thinking another. You talk too much, my brother snapped, kicking Zhao Hui playfully. Zhao Hui grabbed my brother's hand. Let's settle this once and for all. We went home to pick up Jeanzi, then went to a photo studio to take a family portrait. 2 days later, my brother was wheeled into the operating room. Kiss Uncle goodbye, Jeanzi, I said. Little Jeanzi will wait outside for Uncle to come out safe and sound. My brother hooked his pinky finger with Jeanzi's. Uncle promises he'll come out just fine. The surgery was technically a success, but my brother still didn't make it through the winter. I was heartbroken. Jeanzi was still too young to remember what her uncle looked like. When she grew up, she'd only know him through the stories I told her. Uncle. On Jeanzi's first birthday, she finally said the word clearly. Before, she'd only babbled Gigi, or Dio when she tried to call him. Zhao Hui's eyes turned red. Uncle would be so happy to hear that, he said. One weekend I took Jeanzi to the park in her stroller and let Felix visit his daughter. He brought me a cup of coffee with too much milk and sugar. I used to like it that way, but now I was used to black coffee. He suddenly asked, catching me off guard. How did he know? You do know, he said, certain. So he really is your brother's friend. Why lie to me? I laughed. When did I lie? Did I ever say I was going to date him, marry him, or make him Jeanzi's stepdad? He promised my brother he'd take care of Jeanzi and me, and he is doing that. And even if I did lie, so what? Would I have any peace if you kept clinging to me like this? He said he couldn't accept someone like Zhao Hui being around his daughter. I was speechless. He'd really managed to lower my opinion of him even further. Someone like Zhao Hui? Someone like my brother? I said. What kind of people are they exactly? It's you who discriminates against minorities. That's why I should think twice about letting you near Jeanzi, so you don't teach her your ignorance. He had no rebuttal. When he couldn't argue back, he changed the subject. Stella, do you hate me that much? He said. After all these years we spent together, can you really forget it all? throw it away just like that? This past year I've been working myself to the bone. Because the second I have a free moment, my mind can't stop thinking about you, about Jeansy, about how things used to be. I know I failed Jeansy. But in this world no one loves her more than I do except you. Are you really going to take away her right to have a father? Jeansy sat quietly in her stroller eating a cheese stick, her eyes fixed on the kids playing games in the distance. Lots of people live perfectly happy lives without a father, I said. And lots of people have fathers who are worse than none at all. He grew agitated. Lots of fathers can't be there for their wives' labor or see their babies for the first time either. But that doesn't mean they can't be good dads later. I felt exhausted. No one's stopping you from being a good dad. I'm not stopping you from seeing Jeansy, or from her calling someone, Dad. What more do you want? Do you expect me to remarry you just to give Jeansy a complete family? I continued. Jeansy and I are both whole people. A family of two is still a complete family. I don't need a man and Jeansy doesn't need a father. If you keep going in circles with this, if you keep testing to see if I've softened up every few weeks, then there's really no point in us meeting again. Felix scoffed. You only know how to threaten me with Jeansy. I stood up and pushed Jeansy's stroller away. Bez I can. Bez I have the right. Jeansy is my daughter and mine alone. You can choose not to be threatened. You can even sue me if you want. Do whatever you like. Later he apologized and asked to see Jeansy, but I refused. I'd been too soft-hearted before. I'd thought at the very least he was Jeansy's biological father, and that never letting him see her would be cruel. I was wrong. Mom. Oh. Boon. The balloon's flying away. Zhao Hui reacted quickly. He jumped up and caught the balloon, saving us from having to buy a new one. Uncle is so cool. Jeansy exclaimed, throwing her arms around Zhao Hui's legs. This time I tied the balloon to Jeansy's small backpack. It shouldn't slip off again. Jeansy got tired after crawling for a while, so Zhao Hui carried her on his back. She chanted heave-ho to keep time, cheering Uncle on. I laughed until my sides hurt, filming them from behind. Didn't I tell you to charge the power bank yesterday? I thought you meant it was already charged. I heard a familiar voice. When I turned around I saw Felix and Ivy sitting on a stone bench by the steps, resting. Felix saw me first. He froze. Stella. Ivy stood up too, her lower belly was rounded like she was 4 or 5 months pregnant. What a coincidence, Sister Stella, she said. Zhao Hui and Jeansy turned around when they realized I wasn't following. They stopped to wait for me. Jeansy. Felix hurried over, excited. But Jeansy clung tightly to Zhao Hui's neck, shy of this stranger, refusing to let him hold her. Hello, Uncle, she said. In her heart, Uncle Hui was Dad, and this man Felix was just Uncle. Titles were titles, but feelings were feelings. Sister Stella, do you have a power bank? Ivy asked, smiling. Can I borrow it? My phone died. I said I didn't. I want a daughter too, she added. One as cute as Jeansy would be perfect. Mom, let's race. See who gets to the top first. Jeansy called to me. I answered her, then walked past Felix heading uphill. We left the two of them far behind in no time, soon they were out of sight. While we waited for the cable car down the mountain, Felix texted me. He explained that Ivy's baby was a test tube baby, she'd wanted a child and he just helped her out. Whenever you need me. I thought back to that conversation they'd had and I laughed. Jeansy asked me what was so funny. Just something silly, I said. What silly thing? Look at Uncle's hair, I said. Isn't there a leaf in it? She pulled the leaf out of Zhao Hui's hair, then pouted and scolded me for noticing but not telling Uncle, making me apologize to him. Sorry, Uncle. Zhao Hui laughed. Apology accepted. Jeansy clapped her hands. Yay. The cable car's here for us. The end.